This is just AMZN on Thursday, June 6th, 2019. We pretty much had a flat open and really quickly pulled back right into our level here, 1727.80. Bounced, ran up, got a little bit above the highs we saw in the last, last 4 hours or so of the day yesterday. Came right back down again and put in this hammer-ish type candle right here again at the same line. And then we just kind of chopped around for a while. And when I was looking at how we were chopping here, and I just kind of noticed this, and I'm just going to kind of throw this on here. So if you break this whole space into approximate thirds, so that's about $6, $6, $6, something like that. And then I don't know if it's going to be draw a channel this way. If I go, let's see, if I go with thirds again by time, won't let me do it. I was going to do, okay, I don't think it's going to let me do exact thirds, but I was going to try and do there. Okay. It kind of looks like tic-tac-toe. Well, what's really interesting is the open of the day today was really held down in the bottom two boxes. The middle third of the day was completely range bound in the middle box. And then the last third of the day didn't even come down and touch the bottom third box and just rallied, just raced on out. And kind of contrast that from yesterday. Let's see if I can duplicate. So I set this up 1040 and let me just drag this over here. Oops, almost had it and then my finger bumped the button. There we go, like this. I just thought it was a really interesting framework, breaking the day down into these thirds like this. Completely sold off, got way down here to that double bottom, ran right back up, right into that third, kind of got going a little bit higher in here, pulled back again, and did sort of hold the bottom of this range, and then was just chopping around for the rest of it in here, and came right into that bottom third resistance, and we really couldn't get going even up above it here, and we're just straddling it, and then came back down. It's just something I noticed. I don't know why the price is moving in these kinds of thirds. It got above it here. It didn't even touch it all day yesterday, but it does help that we were making some little bit higher highs, trapping any bears who had their stop right here, getting them stopped out, looking like it was going to continue lower. So more bears were hopping on, and then it just starts to bounce, and we get this hold of the low here and a hold of the low here. And then we just start to move up. Like this was a great hammer right here at this price after we had this one here, and it just started to move massively. So anyway, I just wanted to show that framework. It just, it kind of popped in today looking at it. And, I don't know if we'll come back and do something like that. If we pull back a little bit more tomorrow and come back and chop in that range, but we've established, kind of some values in here. I was trying to draw anything through this space. Like I was trying to draw something like higher lows, but I had to cut through cut through pre-market, and then these, we were doing this and then broke down from there yesterday, but it doesn't really, can't really connect these. Probably no, that's still not very clean. Maybe like that, I don't know. And then same with lower highs. It's close, but we push above it. Maybe if we did it like that, we had resistance, 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 false breakout, pull back, hammer, hammer, breakout, and then a so that one, this one, the downtrend one works much better. Just showing you resistance, but it was a lot harder to find that support come back up, and part of that I think is just that bears were getting trapped, by some of these buys coming in and thinking that they're going to continue to push things lower like they did yesterday. So we'll see what happens. See if we do actually pull back a little bit more, or if we can do an S curve here and continue on higher. Now, if we look at some places or look at some options at these different places here, the first one I'll look at is the 1750 call. And I thought I had that ready. There we go. So we make this low around 4 through 355, but we're kind of holding this 4 level here until we make that wick. And then over here, we're holding the 4. And then over here, we get back into the 4, a little bit into it. The low here is 380, and this one is at 380 again. This one, and then this, I think, were the best opportunities to be buying. Let's see, at 1220, 1240. 1240 is that, no, it was 1250 was the time. So 1240, that's 1220. 1240 was this candle. I mean, you had the same low here as you did here, as you did, is it here, as you did over here. I mean, just the fact that we were holding. So this is what was kind of amazing to me about today is we held this low, about $4, all day long. No matter where we were at, we kept coming back down to that $4 low in the option. And because we held that low so well, that was a great place to enter. That's not where you want your stop. You know, you want to enter there on that pullback in anticipation that it's going to move higher. And each time it did, you know, it's like it moved here from 4 up to 6. It moved here from 4 up to almost 4 to almost 6. And then it moved here, if you got in here or anywhere here at 4, it moved up to 14, even 15. I mean, that could have been 10R right there. More likely you would have had an exit here around 8, because that was some earlier resistance on the stock that it was, or on the option that it was getting through. And then you had kind of a little more of an opportunity to get in again here, like 7 by 6, as this actually started to break out. I mean, this was breaking out, double top-ish, and then it just held with a hammer. And right here with that hammer, this was at 155. That was this candle. I mean, it didn't come back down to 7. That totally held. So there were opportunities to get in, like above that candle, below that candle. It was, going bullish. Not even a bearish setup. I'm saying going bullish there. So you could have been doing like 750 by 650, something like that, right there. But it is right at resistance, right here. Didn't have much room to go, but then it just exploded. It just ran higher. Now, even with this big move, the high we put in is 1760. We come back over here. 1760 is the open price of this big bearish candle. The open was 1760.01. So that's, what I'll mention in terms of any sort of bearishness is, we actually have a close above the 5 exponential. So that hasn't happened since this day, where this is kind of where some of this bearishness started to happen, or that was kind of the last gap for the bulls rolling us down. And that was a pretty clear close above, I still have the level here, looking for AMZN to trade through that. So if we pull back a little bit more and open and then just rally, I mean, that'd be a nice bounce off of that level. And that's what it did, it did it here and here and here and here, or this area. So I see the potential for that, for it to come in here and if it can do that and get above both of these bearish candles, it's going to trap even more bears that have their stops just sitting right here. And so it kind of makes sense that it could do that. Doesn't have to, but it could. I would love to see it move back up to 1815 up here into the 21. And that's kind of the next area of resistance. If it does get up here and stay up here in no man's land, this is where it had been holding and then sold off from. And you kind of have a weak shoulder, a bigger head, a shoulder, and then a breakdown. This could just all be a bigger retest of that level, where you have some of a neckline here and then roll back down. This is a little much for a double top. You have a double top here and a retest of the neckline here. That's what I'm saying. This isn't really a big double top. It's a little bit more of a shallow shoulder here, and then a move higher with the head and double top head, and then the other shoulder here. So that's kind of the bigger picture of what I'm seeing. If we dive back in here for puts, we had some sell-off at a similar price that we did yesterday. And so here are some puts you could have been getting into. let's see. So really just buying out the gate, 1700, buying out the gate at like 3x2, but didn't, I guess it did get to 5, but barely. And I don't even know if you even filled there before. It just collapsed and either hit your stop or a panic sell or something, and then only recovered to get a little more than half an hour. Or maybe you got to 4 here and you're exiting up here, but that would have still been really tough to do. The rest of the day, it pretty much just sold off. So we're making lower lows, lower highs all day long, contrasting with what we're doing here, making relative lows, lower highs, and then we had this massive breakout. So you can see kind of how things are moving for the calls and the puts there. So you can see here we're right back into this range. This is where things had sold off before and just catapulted lower. So we'll see if we have anything like that tomorrow. Probably smaller. If we do, it'd be smaller. It'd probably be only down to 1728 or 1727.80 here and then bounce. But that's still a decent pullback. So there could be a way to play that bearish too. Yeah, really great move today. Really great move. Just waiting for it to consolidate long enough, and then it helped having the hammer and then having the squeeze fire and just carry this and continue to push higher. I mean, this squeeze worked all the way until the momentum changed by two candles. One here, because we were just going sideways a little bit, didn't make any high, but then each of these is making the highs. And great place to just be taking some profits when it's getting this close into the close and you're up significantly. So I hope this helps. We looked at calls, puts, 5 minute on the chart and daily. Yeah, we're good. So I've got some travel coming up, so I'm not sure that I'm going to be able to keep up with these. I'm not sure the internet situation. So if I can, I will try to keep up with doing some videos. If not, I may not be able to get another one through till the next weekend or so. So hope you enjoyed this one, and watch it a few times, and we'll revisit, recap once I'm back, and see what all has transpired since this one. So hope you enjoyed this video. This is Justin AMZN. Thanks.